was watching this from
Hawaii.
yeah.
Hawaii. I've talked to him a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah, he's reached out. Let's see what we got going on today. All right, guys, we are here to answer all your home loan questions. Navy Mom Donna already in the house.
What's
Jane
up?
in the house.
We got thrown in jail again. We got thrown in jail for 24 hours. We got thrown in jail. That's why we're a little later today than normal. We went live on one of our other feeds, but it didn't go as well. But we got thrown in jail for 24 hours. We're out of jail. I don't know if you know this, but we're a little bad boys. This kind of works.
So load up the chat box, guys. We're here to answer all your home loan questions. Navy Mom, what's up? We are going to answer your questions that are on your mind, your thoughts, your concerns. You want to become a homeowner. You want to buy another house, an investment property. You want to get an Airbnb. You want to help your kids buy a house. What down payments do you need? What closing costs do you need? All the questions and thoughts that run through your mind on a regular basis because you want to have more in the United States of America, which is a beautiful, great country, guys. A lot going on here that's not so great, but the country's still wonderful. So, all the questions that you have, love the hearts that are already flying in. Thank you very much. So please ask us the questions.
Now we've got a rule. We're going to give you lots of value, but it's not free. It's not free. When we take your questions, Whoville Hater, you're first. You're not late. You're first. You're first. If when we take your questions and we answer them, we are giving you value, real value. We expect hearts in return. Just hearts. Just tap the screen. Let us know that you appreciate that we are here to help you get a house in 2024. How was lunch? We haven't had lunch yet. Whoville Hater, we got in trouble. Yeah. If you were here yesterday, one of the platforms said, we're slapping your hand and you are banned from going live for a while.
Sounds like flip-flop.
Flip-flop. Yeah, oh, I get it. Yeah, it took me a second. Yeah, okay.
That's the platform.
Yeah, that's the platform. Anyway, we are live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Here answering your questions. To get you a house in 2024, the VA just changed their guidelines. Two big things happened that we're going to talk about. Two big things. One, the Fed spoke. And Whoville Hater, we actually wanted to see what the Fed had to say. So it was kind of a happy accident that we couldn't go live until after the Fed spoke.
That's however, a lot of people call their children
happy accidents. That's a little disgusting. So anyway, the VA changed their guidelines. They used to have a situation where you needed a general contractor and a case manager in order to do a VA one construct. What's a VA one-time construct, you ask? Look at the count. It is when you buy the land and you build the house from scratch. Now, I have done this. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. And you better know what you're doing because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time. But the VA used to mandate that you had a general contractor in there. Now, if you know anything about general contractors make a lot of money. Yeah, and if you're trying to do this on the cheap or as cheap as you can, well then paying a general contractor may not be in the cards. The VA just said, hey, listen, you no longer need a general contractor. Wait, what? So anybody who actually does their own construction, like for instance, if you're laying your own floors, you know that there's the cost for material, and that is X. And then there's the cost for labor. Now, if you happen to lay your own floors, I've laid my own floors, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But you save a ton of money. Not a little bit of money, like a ton of money. Probably 2 times what the construction costs.
Yep, we got a lot of questions in here. Let's start answering your guys' questions.
So that's the VA one-time construct. We're going to talk about the Fed here. You're right. Let's bring on those questions. That's where we're going.
Estrella G, start tapping that screen. Give us a bunch of likes until Lee's done answering. Can my husband qualify for a USDA loan if he's a co-borrower for someone else?
Maybe Estrella G. Estrella G, they're going to look at, is he a occupant co-borrower? If he's an occupant co-borrower, the answer is easy, no. So if he's a non-occupant co-borrower or co-signer, then there is a possibility of yes. So that's the big line right there. Is he an occupant co-borrower or non-occupant co-borrower? And they'll have to go to the loan to figure that out. Now, if he is a non-occupant co-borrower, and the other person has made the payments for the last 12 months out of their bank account, then we may be able to ignore it entirely, move forward with a USDA loan. There's a lot of boxes we're going to have to check, but it's doable in the right situation.
All right, Whitney, duh. Start tapping that screen. What FICO score should I look at for a mortgage?
Whitney, duh. Whitney, duh. I like that. Whitney, duh. Whitney, duh. Whitney, duh.
Whitney, duh.
It's Brittany. Anyway, so see what I just did there?
No.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Whitney, if you want to go 580 for a FHA, 580 you start qualifying for 3.5% down on an FHA loan. 620 for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. That's called conventional loans. Those are called conventional loans. You can go all the way down to 500. Whitney, if you have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money. Because oops. Because you need 10% or more. That was pretty good too. Yeah, I see what you did there. See, I see it. I catch it.
I see.
Lena, the rain is gone. Anyway, so you can go all the way down to 500 FICO if you have more than 10% down. Now, here's the catch. If you have a 580, 581, 582 FICO, something's causing that 581, 582 FICO. We got to find out what it is. Because if it's recent, if it's last month, if it's 2 months ago, if it's 3 months ago, it may stop you from getting a loan. If it's 2 years ago, it may not stop you. But we have to figure out what's going on so that we can help you get that house in 2024.
Right
Appreciate
on.
You, Australia.
Navy Mom Donna wants to know, what does Lee's shirt say?
Lee's shirt says, this we will defend. It's a group called, or it's a manufacturer called Grunt Style, and they're all about the military. They're all about patriotic government type people. And I got a lot of Grunt Style shirts that says, this we will defend. I don't remember if there's anything on the back. Not on this one.
You trying to show your butt again, man?
And it's just, they almost all have a flag right here. I'm trying to show my butt. Anyway, moving right along.
All right. What FICO score? We already answered that one. Sunshine and rain. The Fed decided not to drop the rates.
Yeah, sunshine. We were right. But it wasn't really brain surgery. It's like, hey, the sun's going to come up tomorrow in the morning. Pretty sure of it. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. So the Fed decided not to drop the rates. The one thing that they said, and I didn't actually hear him say it, I was trying to listen to the whole speech again, is how many rate drops they anticipate by the end of the year. Because whenever they ask Jerome Powell that, he's a little squirrely. He goes, we don't look at it in terms that way. He goes, we look at it, we have a long-term goal of 2.5%. I think he said 2% this time, actually. Long-term goal of 2% for the Fed funds rate or inflation. And that's what we're looking at. And things are actually, there's some weird shit that happened, because even though he came in just as predicted, he did not cut rates. He did not increase rates. The 10-year yield dropped like a lot. Like I pulled it. So here's the 10-year yield for the day. This is the 10-year yield for the day. I pulled it and it went from here to here this morning. Like crazy drop. That's a crazy drop. Which means mortgage rates went down a little bit. Now, for the average consumer, it's not going to be like dramatic, but for a loan officer, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So then I actually pulled the rates for the last 3 months. And for the last 3 months, it has gone like this. Now, why has the rates gone up and down like this? That's uncertainty in the market. The Fed hasn't changed the rates. There's an uncertainty spread. It's called the yield spread between the 10-year note and the mortgage interest rate. And that fluctuates depending on the confidence of the market and a whole bunch of different stuff. So the rates dropped this morning. He has a story where he floated on a client yesterday, because we're on one of our files. We're on a spot where we have to lock. And they're like, hey, do we lock? Do we float? What was this conversation you had?
I gave them the today's data, which was yesterday. I said, here's what it looks like today. Here's what it looks like today, guys. Here's how much you're going to pay for this particular rate. You have to pick a certain rate because they had to have that rate to qualify. Came with a cost, okay? Came with a cost. So I told them, that's the data for today. Let me tell you my opinion, and let me share with you what I would do. So I'm a bit of a gambler, okay? Bit of a gambler. Not a huge gambler, tiny gambler. But when it comes to interest rates, I actually did this on my own loan too. I watched the market, tried to figure out what was going on in the news, what the Fed was going to do, and I told them, hey, they're going to speak tomorrow. There's a high probability that if they don't increase rates, it's going to give some consumer confidence, and the cost could go down on your rate. So if it were me, I didn't say this is what I recommend for you. I said if it were me, I would float. What do you guys want to do? And they said, we're gonna go in line with what you would do. We're gonna float, and it saved them $6,000.
Wow,
One day move.
that's
One day
crazy. Hint to him. General contractor, he hate him.
3.
General contractor here, we appreciate you. General contractor, I appreciate what you guys do. You also make a lot of money sometimes for doing what you guys do.
They also take the hits
so do
like
we,
we
by
do.
the way. Yeah, so do we do.
And
so
they
do
take
we.
the hits too.
Yep.
Estrella G, can my husband qualify for a
Where did
USDA
that one?
loan? Who will a hater? That's good. In New Mexico, I could be my own GC and then just hire subs.
That's correct, Whoville Hater, on a VA loan. You can do that right now.
Bear, having a new auto loan. Will having a new auto loan hurt us? Ooh, we got a bunch of questions. Hey, everybody, hang in there. We're going to get to every single one of you.
Every one of those questions are going to get answered. We're here to help you get a house in 2024.
Having a new auto loan will hurt us trying to get approved for a home loan. Will it?
Will, yeah, Bear. Yes, it will a little bit. It depends on how much that monthly payment is.
Tap the screen, guys.
When you're answering your questions, give us some hearts so we know that that you're still here and that you're getting value out of what we're giving you. So if you have a monthly payment, let's say your monthly payment comes in at $300 a month, that's going to hurt you a little bit. If it comes in at $1,400 a month, it's going to hurt you a lot. What? $1,400 a month? Yeah, we get kids all the time with Raptor payments, TRX payments, brand new Corvette payments. And I'm like, what is $1,800 a month? They're like, my Raptor, you want to see it? I'm like, I do, and you don't qualify for a house anymore. So can it hurt you? Yeah, but it's going to boil down to how much money you make minus that.
Right. Whitney does. Start tapping that screen. Can you qualify for an FHA with less than a 2-year work history? I have lots of questions.
Whitney, duh. We're here for you. If you were educating yourself to go into a profession, like for instance, you were going to nursing, you got a nursing degree. Once you walked out of a nursing degree, you got a job in Loma Linda, and they're paying you $180,000 as a high-end nurse. It doesn't matter if you've only been there 1 week. Because the 2 years prior, you were educating yourself for nursing. Yes, I can use that 1 week in office or 1 week at your job.
All right, cool. Straight G. By any chances, he's listed as an occupant co-borrower or occupant borrower. Can that be changed?
Probably only in a refinance. I'm not 100% on that one. What would you say?
If it's already listed as an occupant borrower, well, you can move.
Yeah, you can move, but yeah, well.
Well, she's talking about a loan that already closed, and she wants to get USDA now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can change it, but here's going to be the challenge: is if you're going from Govy to Govy in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, and another thing you need to know is if it's FHA or VA, Govy to Govy, that's a problem. That's going to be a problem. So if he's on it, you can refinance and take him off, depending on. Well, you probably want him off anyway. So that's a thought. And yeah, that's a tough one. We'd have to pull credit. We'd have to do some research and pull some guidelines. Yeah.
So going into the new loan, he's going to be as an occupant, okay? So he was an occupant at this house. Moving into the new home, he's going to be an occupant again. We'll have to look into USDA unless you might know it. So FHA, I'll just give you another Govy rule. That if you have an FHA and you want to buy another FHA, there's a 100-mile rule. So you have to move 100 miles away or more to use FHA again. And that would be occupant to occupant. Might have that same rule, but Australia, you might want to call us so we can dig in a little more for you. Yeah. Whitney, duh! Start tapping the screen again. I mean, like FICO 8 or FICO 9, they have different scores.
Yeah, FICO 8 and FICO 9 are different scores because they are different algorithms. We don't even use FICO 8 or FICO 9. In the lending business, we use FICO 5. And there's a lot of them out there because they're selling their product just like anybody else. And there's another one called Vantage. Vantage is out there too.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, too.
That's a good one, too.
All right, I eat ass. Is it a good time to purchase a home right now? I'm going to call every single one of your names.
Yeah, kill that.
Start tapping that screen.
Yeah, so is it a good time to purchase a house right now? If you qualify and you want a house, good time to buy one right now.
Why?
Because interest rates are high. Well, that sounds like a horrible time. Yeah. Well, because interest rates are high, a lot of people can't qualify. And if a lot of people can't qualify, only those that qualify are the buyers in the market, obviously. And because of that, there's less buyers. Because there's less buyers, they have more power. Mm-hmm. Because they have more power, they have no negotiating power. They can work on price. They can work on a bunch of things because it's a buyer's market. Once the rates go down, there will be a lot of buyers. And then the sellers run the show. And that's a seller's market. Even though it's counterintuitive, currently it's a buyer's market.
Yeah, we're going to get to every single one of your questions, so hang in there, don't leave. And every time Lee's answering one of your questions, Tap that screen until he's done answering your question. User 5811, thank you for the love.
Appreciate
Drew
you.
03, what's the ideal FICO score for a good interest rate?
Ideal 820. Ideal is
Or
820.
better.
Yeah, or better. Ideal. That's a big word. Ideal. You'll probably start getting in the top at about 780, right? 780, we say that?
Oh, yeah,
780.
yeah.
About 780. But if you go to 820, you're gold paper. But there's more to that 820 FICO because every bank knows everybody will finance you.
Yep.
And because of that, they know, whoa, this guy could leave us at any time. He's gold. We got to give him the best of everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of lays down right away, immediately.
Gold. Nunya Business, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Sassy Classy, thank you for the love. Soul Ass, Sassin, thank you for the love. Bear, thank you for the love. Simon S, how can I get a mortgage to buy property in a different state? Tap that screen, Simon. Keep tapping until Lee's done answering your question.
How can I get a mortgage
to buy a property in a different state?
That's pretty simple. If it's your primary residence. So I've had this happen many a time where somebody says, hey, I'm leaving California and I'm going to go work in Utah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Do you have a job lined up? Yes, I do. He's a diesel repair mechanic. And he said, yeah, I already got a place that's going to hire me on this day in Utah. I'm like, cool. Can you get me an offer letter? Ironclad. Says, I am absolutely hiring you. I am absolutely paying you this. You are guaranteed this. Mm-hmm. Yep, he got it for me. And then I said, okay, cool. Let me see your current paycheck stubs in California. All right, cool. Tallied them all up. Put the new offer letter in and the income. And they said, hey, he's moving to Utah. I want to buy the house in Utah. The underwriter said, yep, it all works out. Able to fund post-closing condition, one paycheck stub after he starts his new job.
Yeah, if you guys like what you hear here, please share this live. Share. And then Bear, need a bunch of likes from you, man. Need a bunch of likes from you right now. Great. I don't have an auto loan, but my wife been wanting a new car, but I told her no.
Bear, you have a strong case to keep your wife from buying a house. A strong case. You could say, hey, honey, do you want to live in a mansion or do you want to live in a shack? Well, if you want to live in a mansion, we got to wait to buy that car till after we are in the mansion and we've made the first 2 years of payments. That's not true. You could do it like the day after, but you could say that if you wanted to, if you're not wanting to buy that car. So anyway, Bear, trying to help you out.
And Bear, I think you DM'd us a day or two ago and we answered some questions, so hope we're helping you, man. Simon S, how do I get a loan to buy a property in a different state? We already answered that one, Simon S. Andrea, start tapping the screen. Give us the likes. She's a Dallas, looks like real estate agent. Any I-10 program?
Andrea, Dallas, real estate. I'm going to guess real estate because it just says real. I don't know if you're keeping it real. Could be keeping it real in Dallas. I mean, you could be keeping it real in Dallas. Andrea, if you are, we'll appreciate you. If you're a real estate agent, we'll appreciate you too. Yes, there are I-10 programs all across the country. Here's where I lose most people. 20% down. 20% down. 20. Some of them are 25. There's one for 15. But most people don't qualify for that 15. So 20% down just as a rule, and we lose most people right there. Here's the next question. Can I do a I-10 and an FHA at the same time? No. If you're doing I-10, everybody's I-10. If you're doing FHA, everybody's FHA, and the I-10 guy can't go on there. So just the rules of the game, just the way it works.
All right, Andrea, thank you for the heart. Simon said, question mark.
Simon,
Getting
we're here for you.
impatient, Simon. We've already answered your question. Fong, esthetician looks like. How do I qualify for zero down payment program? Is that an FHA loan?
Very
Tap
good
the screen,
question. Fong, we're about to answer your question. We want you to feel the love and you want you to give it back. Yeah, it's a dual type relationship. It's a reciprocating relationship. So zero down programs are exactly that. They're programs. And there are programs that ride on a chassis. A chassis is either FHA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA, or USDA. So those are the chassis. So that's a loan. You have to qualify for the FHA loan first. And then after you qualify for the FHA loan, we find out which programs we can plug into the FHA loan in order to get you zero down. They're not the same. They're not one and the same. Now, here's the catch. I have one client that I met here, and the client said, hey, listen, I really want to qualify. I say, cool. He says, I'm going to buy a $280,000 house. That's amazing. Let's go. Qualified, perfect credit score, qualified 280. You're at the top of the range. He says, hey, Lee, I really want to do a zero down program. I say, cool, I'll get you qualified for a zero down program. You're qualified for 280. And after I put the zero down program, you're 230. He says, wait, Lee, why would I get 230 if I'm qualified for 280? 280 is if you bring in your own money and you have it. So they're gonna let you go up to 280. But if they're gonna give you the money, like literally take all the risk off of your back and put it all on theirs, they're gonna not let you push it to the end. That makes sense, right? And the guy says, yeah, I guess so. I'm going with a 280. I said, yeah, I thought you would. So that's how most down payment assistance programs work. They're not free. There's always some type of catch. But they sound great. It's like, hey, 0 down, no closing costs. Why doesn't everybody own a house? Yeah.
Why don't they?
We're trying to help them.
Simon S., do you even read the questions?
Dude, Simon S., bruh. Simon
Giving me
S.
feminine energy,
Simon,
bro.
Simon.
Feminine energy.
Simon. So you got to look at how many followers Simon has. Check how many followers Simon has.
We'll waste this
We got to find it. We got
1.2 followers.
What? 1.2 thousand
That's more than
followers?
most.
That's more than most, Simon. We're going to give you that. So we'll give you the respect of, do we read the effing question? Yes, we do. And we answer them.
Right here, bro.
Yep, we're here for you, bro.
All right, Corey Hulas, give us the heart. Start pumping up that screen. I have a mortgage, $1,770 a month. Can I help buy my son a home? Combined income, $235,000.
Corey, shit.
ballers in
you
the
got
house.
Ballers. So if you have a mortgage of $1,770, can you help your son buy a house? Yes, it's math. It's all math. So I have to first calculate how much money do you make. There's a certain way that loan officers calculate income. It's not what you do. It's a different calculation. Now, if you're commission, then it's a different calculation. If you're salary, it's a different calculation. If you're hourly, it's a different calculation. But once I get that calculation, then I figure out that calculation, I subtract that $1,770 along with any other liabilities. Whatever is left, I'm able to use that towards buying the new house. So the answer is yes, you can. We have to work all the math out. $235,000 income, that's an amazing income. So you're probably going to qualify for a lot of house.
All right, guys, load up that chat box. Ask all your questions, comments, concerns, thoughts about buying houses. We're going to get to every single one of you. Mia Love back in the house.
Mia Love, what's up, Mia Love?
What's the difference between buying a new home and an existing one? Are the requirements the same?
So, Mia, the requirements are pretty much the same, but it's a different process. Because if you're buying a brand new home, you're buying from a builder. If you're buying from a builder, the builder gets to set terms. They get to say, hey, you cannot use your own realtor. I am the listing agent. I am the realtor. Hey, you signed without having a realtor. You must use my realtor to get in there. So there's a lot of variables because it's a builder and because that builder can set the rules. The builder's going to try and force you to use their loan officer because they make more money if you do. They make more money because they have a captive loan officer. Shit.
I'll get it over here. It's okay. We're still live. Keep going. Keep going, dude.
Yeah, but I'm plugged in.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating.
So, we just lost a little bit of our feed, but we're still here for you. So, we are helping you. Kristen Lee too. Yeah, we're helping you. So, if you buy a regular SFR, all that stuff is gone. The builder's already out. He's been paid. All the property tax base has been settled. All the improvements, and like the one that caught him was the yard. They sell it as a plus. They're like, hey, we didn't want to take the liberty of figuring out what kind of yard you want, so we gave you the ability to create any yard you want. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of cool, I guess. I know it's bullshit, but it's kind of cool. And then after he did that, well, guess what? They said, oh, you're part of an HOA? Yeah. Well, as being part of that HOA, you have to do it within this many months.
It doesn't work.
You tried that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to do it within this many months, and he had to build his yard the way he wanted within, I don't know, 6 months after you moved in, maybe a year, something like that.
Like 6 months, I got a letter.
All right, cool.
But that letter was interesting. They're like, hey, we're about to start fining you and leaning your house. Why haven't you done anything to your yard? And I'm like, brrr. Real estate agent said I didn't have to. They're like, yeah, we heard that a lot from this real estate agent. You're still part of the HOA. You still need to improve this yard. You need to call them contractors.
You better
so I did.
right
So
now.
in that situation, I was lucky to have the finance to be able to take care of it. But does everybody have that kind of finance? After you just pay to move into your home, furnish it, put window fixtures, do all these things internally, and then you need another $100,000 to do the backyard and the front yard? That can be tough. So buying a new house is a different situation. So, all right, here we go with the questions. Drew03 said, what's the calculation if you're W-2? Nerd.
Okay,
Just
so
kidding.
if you're W-2, it depends on if you have ascending income, level income, or descending income. If you have ascending income, then I take your last 2 years of W-2s and I go, okay, plug it into this one, I plug it into this one, now I see ascending income. Then I take your paycheck stub and whatever the ascending income is with the current paycheck stub, I'm able to level that off right there and use that. If you have level income, then I do the same thing. Last year's W-2, this year's W-2, then paycheck stub, as long as it's level, then we're good. If it's descending income, changes everything. Because then I have to go, okay, cool, you're descending. I don't get to use the bottom one. I have to use a 24-month average or figure out why you're descending. If you're descending on a W-2, that usually means you're getting your hours cut. And I might have to go with the lowest level. If there's a reason, hey, I got sick for a little while and now I'm back, all right, then I might be able to take a higher level, but it's different for everybody. It's a little different.
All right. Michael Caro in the house. Start tapping that screen, Michael. He's asking, what if I want to rent even though I have enough for a 20% down payment? So
Rent
versus buy?
Rent, dude. Rent. Yeah. Keep your money. Make that paper, boo-boo. That's all I got to say. Make the paper. I don't know how long it's going to last.
Well, here's the deal. So you have 20% down. Do you have to spend all 20% down? No, you don't. You don't have to use that 20%, man. You can get in with an FHA, 3.5%. Keep a lot of that money in your pocket. See if you're comfortable with the mortgage payment. See if you're, whatever you get approved for. Let's say that you get approved for $500,000, $300,000, whatever the number is. Look at the houses in the neighborhoods that you would like to live. Does that meet your need? Now you're comfortable with the payment. It meets your need. You have the 3.5%. You can keep cash in your pocket. Now you're a homeowner. What's the benefit of a homeowner? The number one that a lot of people don't even know is that you get a pretty decent tax break on that interest that you pay on that mortgage payment.
Boom. Tax breaks.
And now you get to participate in equity appreciation.
What?
So let's say you do it for a year and you're like, you know what? This just isn't for me. Sell the house, and depending on how much equity that's gone up, goes into your pocket minus fees and taxes, of course.
Drew, 100K salary. All right. Good for you.
Right.
I don't know if you. I don't know if
What's the
you're-
calculation
I
on a
don't know.
100K salary? That's what it is.
Oh, if you're a 100K salary, it's $8,333 a month.
Boom.
You know how I know that? Because I do it all the damn time.
Every day, every damn day.
Yeah.
Jay Crow, what is going to be the rate on a boathouse?
No boathouses. That's a well, you can get a boathouse, but it's not going to
16%?
be conventional conforming loans. It's not going to be NMLS regulated. It's a whole different industry. We don't deal with that.
Oh, DJ Critidin. I've seen you before, man. I keep saying your name wrong. I know I am. Me and wife, income combined, $140,000. Some more ballers in the house. 620 credit score and a 620 and 650, 2,300 debt monthly.
Ooh, that 2,300 debt monthly hurts you a lot. Let me tell you
big
how
one.
much a lot.
It's a
I'm going
big
to tell
one.
you a lot. This is basic, simple loan officer math. 2,300, I'm going to round it up to 2,500 because it's easier to work with. 2,500, double that's $5,000 a month. If you're making $140,000 a month, you're probably making
A year.
$140,000 a year. You're making about $10,500 a month. So $10,500 a month minus that $5,000, you're making $5,500 a month. $5,500 a month is roughly $60,000 a year, or almost $70,000 a year. $70,000 a year is your new income because of that monthly debt. But there are ways to deal with that. I might be able to ignore that monthly debt. What? How do you do that? Well, I know the guidelines. If you have a Raptor and it's $1,800 a month and you're about to pay that off in 9 months or 10 months, I can ignore it entirely as long as it's an installment loan. So there's ways that I can work around that, but if it's just straightforward debt, we got to work on it. We got to work on it.
DJ, you owe us 700 hearts for that one.
700.
Jay Loves, or Joves, J-O-V-S, I don't know what that says.
All right.
What percentage of our monthly income should we not exceed in debt to qualify for a house?
So there's a front end, back end ratio. On the front end, that's PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That has everything to do with the house. PITI. Then there's back end ratio. Back end is PITI plus revolving debt. That's automobiles, credit cards, student loans, anything else that you've got out there. So the rule on FHA, if you went to loan officer school, is 35-45. But the reality, the real life is 46, 50.
999.
46.99999. That's the most liberal loan you'll get other than VA. On a VA, I can push it to the 80s if you have a good residual.
You're welcome, Drew03. Give us a bunch of hearts, man. We need those hearts. And give us some shares because we need to get some more activity going on in here. David Renza. FHA? You do FHA?
We do FHA every day. FHA 3.5%, FHA 45, 55, or if things look good on the file, 46, 56.99999 front end back end ratio.
Karen DeZala in the house from South Carolina.
What's up? What are you doing in South Carolina?
Partying, man.
We know you as the Arizona realtor. We know you as the California realtor. We know you as the best realtor in the world.
The Carolinas are pretty awesome to vacation, I heard.
Are you in South Carolina? That's badass. Good.
You just said that, man. I want all the stories when you get home.
Yep.
Jay Blanco, thank you for the love. Benita Fernandez. How do I get my credit from a 658 to a 700? I have a conventional pre-approval for only $262,000.
Benita, 658 to 700. That's going to be work. And the reason I say it's work is because the only way I can get you 658 is not bad. That's good. You will get better loan qualification at 700. But I'd have to put you into a what-if simulator. We do it for free. We'd pull your credit, put you into a what-if simulator, and then we've got a computer program that says, well, if you pay this down $200, and if you pay this down $200, or sometimes it's as simple as, hey, you have $10,000 on this credit card and nothing on these three, balance transfer $3,000 to each of them, and your credit score will go up 100 points. It's an algorithm that lenders pay for. We pay for it, and it takes hours and hours and hours. So you have to have a loan officer that, one, knows how to do it, and two, pays for the software, and three, wants to do it. A lot of times they just send you off and they're like, yeah, whatever, this is what you got, you're done. But we will actually put you into what if simulator, give you the whole different ways to get there, and then give you the path. And then we can force a rescore. If you'd say, hey, Lee, you said to pay $200 on that. What do I do? Do I wait after? I'm like, no, send me the receipt that you paid it. And then I'm going to force the rescore on the credit agencies. Because as a lender, we can do that. Any loan officer can do that. We can force a rescore.
How much are you going to charge Benita Fernandez to do that?
To do the credit rescore or to do the credit simulation, probably $0. To force the rescore, it's $10. But we don't charge you until we close the loan.
Damn.
After we close the loan, they put it in the loan that said, hey, we forced a rescore in order to close this loan. You owe us $10 per bureau.
So, Benita, if you're interested in doing that with us, go to the link in the bio, select apply for a home loan now, and guess what?
What?
Time for a commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding by dialing the number on the screen. But don't dial it right now because we're live on TikTok and Instagram on our phones, so we can't answer. But as soon as we're done being live, we will answer and we will help you get that house. Bye.
All right, I love it. Jay Crow, I'm connected felon. I was framed.
Convicted.
Long story.
All right. Jay Crow, I'm a convicted felon. I was framed.
Connected.
Long story. Connected. I don't know if it's connected or convicted, but I will tell you what. I do believe the leader of our free country is going to be a convicted felon, and I'm very proud to say that I will be supporting that convicted felon.
Hey, man, I would vote for you. Jace Chavez, my father-in-law needs a 110 loan. I-10 loan. What options are available?
Well, I don't know if that's I-10.
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 They don't know it's T-I-N.
Okay, so if it's I-10, if your father-in-law needs, I'm going to use the words that come into my brain. If your father-in-law needs a loan and he's I-10, it's very simple. Call us. We do I-10 loans, all 50 states. All 50 states. Now, are they the easiest loans? No, they're difficult. And you need 20% down. 20% down. And that's the rules. And there is no way around those rules except one tiny way, which you can get 15% down. But just call it 20% down because I haven't seen anybody go through that one hole in a while.
Yeah, Jace, you owe us 33,000 hearts on that one.
33,000?
Jay Crow, the first one was free. This one is not. Tap the screen until Lee is done. Can I get a home loan? I'm undocumented.
So, yes, Jay Crow, you can. There are different programs for you. If you're I-10, Well, then if you're I-10, you're documented. I think I'm not a attorney in that world, but we have a program called the Foreign Nationals Program. A Foreign Nationals Program, you don't have to be a citizen. You don't even have to want to be a citizen. We don't give a shit. All they want to know is, hey, you want to buy property, a house in the United States, they will give it to you through a Foreign Nationals Program. Foreign Nationals Program, 20% or 25%. There's two different major categories. Inside of that, there's a bunch of different loans. So, can you get a house? Yes.
All right, Jay Crow, there you go. Where's our hearts, man? David Rendez, FHA, upfront MI and monthly is a scam. MI never goes away. Refi in the future is not the way to go.
David, sounds like you're a pissed off ex-loan officer that probably didn't make it through the crash.
Your husband hurt your feelings, didn't he?
I know. Someone's big mad. Upfront MI and monthly is a scam. I don't know if it's a scam. It's not really a scam. It's a program.
Like it or not.
You bought into the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? When I buy a Ferrari, I could say, hey, you know what? That $3,000 a month payment is a scam. No, I opted to buy a Ferrari. And then if I say, hey, that oil change is $3,500 and I void the warranty if I don't pay Ferrari to do it, that's a scam. No, I kind of signed up to buy a Ferrari. So if you want to borrow money from FHA, FHA is real clear about it. They say, hey, we got a UFMIP on the front. UFMIP's 1.75% of the loan for every FHA loan. Every FHA loan. Did I say every? I said every.
I heard it.
FHA loan. 1.75 UFMIP. That's not even MI. That's UFMIP. MI is the monthly mortgage insurance that you have to pay for the life of the loan, which is 0.55 if you put 3.5% down. If you don't like that program, don't buy the Ferrari. Pretty simple.
Yeah, put 20% down.
Yeah, 20% down. No MI, no UFMIP. Golden.
Golden. David, you owe us 777,000 hearts for that one.
Damn.
DJ's back in the house.
What's up, DJ?
1,300 is rent. That's what he said.
All right.
All right. Good job.
1,300 is rent. I don't know what that means, but if 1,300, that's a good price for rent anywhere in America right now.
So here's the story, guys. When we read your question and we move on, we've moved on.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Give us
right?
more details, okay?
David Renzo says bad advice. Ooh, David's big mad. Big mad. David. Okay, let's find out how many followers David has.
We're going to waste
put him
time
on
on
blast.
David, you owe us 2 million likes.
We don't mind.
We're wasting time on you.
You got 70 followers. David,
0
I hate
likes.
to say you this, but literally you do not count in this world. Like, not in the world of TikTok, because 70 followers isn't enough to even do anything. So, David, hate to say this, you don't count, so your advice doesn't count.
Correct. He said you need a loan or two so you have something to do.
Yeah, David, you're right. You know what? We want some. Can you give us a loan? Well,
Actually,
you only have 70 followers. You can't give us any.
He said FHA 56.9 all day. Maybe he's an LO.
I think he is an
hating.
LO. Yeah, because somebody doesn't know that unless you're an LO.
You know why they hate us?
Because they ain't us.
Oh, I
Whoa!
ain't
Benja
saying-
Fernandez. Follow the host.
Thank you for the love.
We appreciate you, K. Scott. Follow
Thank you
the
for the
host.
love.
David is there. Means you can't afford it. David's mad. David's big mad. David, hey, if you look at the top, we got about 59,000 followers. We'll break 60 by the end of the month.
David.
60,000 followers. Yep.
All right. Nemo Toad. Is it true dealerships try to keep your down payment? Tap that screen.
Dealerships. Well, a dealership is a car terminology. So I can't speak to car terminologies. I can speak to new builds, and I can tell you that inside of the contract, if you have a good realtor,
What's up, Alex?
it's going to be very difficult for them to keep your down payment. They must comply unless you clearly violate the agreement. If you clearly violate the agreement, then they try and go after your EMD. If you got a good realtor, they almost never win. Almost never if you've got a good realtor. If you got a shitty realtor, they win 50 to 60% of the time.
Drew 03. What could I qualify on a loan? 680 FICO, 1,500 monthly debt, 100K salary, Las Vegas.
1,500 monthly debt. 1,500 monthly debt. So real simple math, Drew.
Tap that screen,
Real
Drew.
simple math. 1,500. I'm gonna double that to 3,000. Then I'm gonna take your 100K salary and say you make about $8,300 a month. I'm gonna subtract 3,000 from that, and I'm gonna say you make about 50 to 60,000 a month. 50 to 60,000 a month will get you about how much? What do you think?
Year.
A year. I'm sorry.
A year.
A year, what do you think that'll get him?
250.
250? I'm trying to check my.
We're working on it,
Chart
Drew.
here.
Thank you for
Trying
the
to
love.
check-
I see
oh,
the hearts
shit.
coming in.
I
I
got all
appreciate
kinds
it.
of stuff coming. Oh,
He's
shit.
looking at numbers and stuff.
Dude, I got the wrong chart here. Here it is. Yeah, 250. 250. It depends. It's going to depend on a few. The 680 FICO hurts you a lot. Kind of hurts you a lot. If you had a little bit higher FICO, maybe we should work on getting that FICO up a little bit. We'll help you out.
Yeah, Drew. Coco, help! My husband and I both have 800 plus scores, 18% down, and great income. How do I negotiate rates?
Coco.
Start those hearts, Coco.
Coco, I got this hack for you. Here's the hack. Okay, you have to look at things long term, Coco. And I'm about to teach you something that nobody else is going to teach you. Why? Because I'm a genius. Okay, cool. So you heard that the Fed spoke today, and they're all talking about moving down the Fed funds rate because that's what the mortgage rates are based off of. They're actually based off the 10-year yield, but that competes with the Fed funds rate, so it's kind of the same thing. Kind of, not exactly. And if you're trying to get the best interest rate and how do you negotiate your rates, I'm going to tell you that Coco, today's not the best day to negotiate the rates. It's not. It's not. Why? Because if you have an 800 FICO, you're already going to get a great rate. But if you think you're going to get a great rate and never refinance, Coco, erase that from your mind. Because here's what the Federal Reserve puts out on their website. On their website, they say right now we are 5.25 and 5.5 Fed funds rate. We are going to 2.5. This is what they are saying on their website. They anticipate the big moves to happen in 2025. The big moves to happen in 2025. So your rates are going to go down, and they're going to go to 2.5% according to the FOMC. Now, what does that mean? Here's what that means. Currently, the Fed funds rates are at 5.5%. And if you have a decent 800 FICO score, I could probably price you at about 7% interest today. You think so, 7%?
Yeah.
So 7%. All right, cool. 5.5, that's called 150 yield spread. 150 basis point yield spread. 5.5 to 7. So take that down to 2.5. Do a 150 yield spread, you'll be at 4. What does that mean? Today you finance, you're at 7. In 2.5 years, you'll be at 4. Don't spend money to buy the rate down today. Probably not the best move unless you need it to qualify. But with an 800 FICO score, I don't think it's going to be the case. So if you're at 7, take a par rate. I will even make an argument that you should take 7.75 and get 12 grand back. What? 12 grand back? You can do that? Yes, you can. In about 2-3 years, you can take that 12 grand, and when you're at 4, you're going to buy that bad boy down to 3 and maybe even 2. What? That's how you play the game like a G.
Jason Free, 0724, been 779 for years, and I can't break 800. How? He needs help, man.
Okay, so Jason Free, 779. That's
Tap that screen,
that's a
Jason.
damn good score. That's a damn good score. So when you look at your credit score, there's multiple things that weigh. If you have a mortgage, that's one of the most important. If you don't have a mortgage, that's one of the reasons you're not breaking into the 800, because you got to get into that 800 club to get the best of everything. If you have a mortgage, you're going to get there easier. Doesn't mean it's prohibitive. You can still get in there, but you need multiple trade lines, and you need to use those trade lines below 30%. So if I have a $1,000 credit card, I need to use up to $300, but no more, and then pay it off. Now, if you have multiple trade lines doing this and you have different verticals, automobile, student loan, credit cards, mortgage, that's your primary verticals. If you have those verticals, you get to the 800. If you need more help, we will pull your credit, put you in the what if simulator, get you to an 800 if you want.
Hell yeah, that's easy peasy. Benita, you're welcome. Coco has no debt besides her house.
Is that Coco? Which was the 800 FICO?
It's the same
Was it
one. That's Coco.
Okay, Coco. Here's one more thing. This is huge. New American Funding, pretty good bank. We work for them. I don't own the bank. I'm not super writing for the brand. If they do something bad, I call them out. They get mad at me all the time. But here's one of the things they did do. They said, hey, listen, in order to compete, we are doing a free refinance for the next 5 years. If you purchase your house and you use Kristen Lee's New American Funding will do a free refinance for the next 5 years. What? 5 years. So when you buy down that rate, you don't have to pay the bank fee.
Boom. Benito Fernandez, thank you so much. What if simulator? Awesome. All right, Benito, I'm looking out for your application.
Cool.
Wow, free? No cost. How
No
do I
cost.
contact you, please? Time for commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee, at New American Funding at the numbers on the screen right now. But don't call us right now because we won't answer. We're live on our devices. Call us after the live. We'll be glad to help you. This will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bye.
All right. Isaac, how you doing, man?
What's up, Isaac?
Is a 5-month gap without working an automatic disqualified?
Negative, Isaac. It sounds like you're a loan officer just gaming me. You're just gaming me. You're like, hey, will I disqualify at 5 months? Because the actual guideline is 6 months. If you're not working for 5 months, we need an LOE. Letter of explanation. Why? You're like, because I held out for the best job. Cool. I explained it. Good to go. So 5 months, no problem. 6 months, problem.
There you go. Isaac, tap that screen, man. We deserve a lot of likes. We deserve a lot of likes. K. Scott, bank statement loans?
Yes, we do.
K. Scott, tap that screen.
K. Scott. Here's how a bank statement loan works. It's actually fairly simple. We say, hey, give me the last 24 months of your bank statements. You're like, 24? That's a pretty intrusive. Aren't you asking for some private information? Well, you're asking for $500,000. So 24 months of bank statements. Cool. You send me 24 months of bank statements. I say, how much did you deposit? And you say, hey, I deposited $20,000 a month for all 24 months. Cool. I'm going to cut that in half. $10,000 is your income. It's that simple.
All right. Snowboarder Hawaii. Start tapping that screen. We're going to get you some answers. I've got $100,000 to invest in buying a home with $500,000. Can I get a home?
Wow. I have $100,000 to invest in buying a home with $500,000. Is that a $500,000 home?
Worth $500,000. It's below. Worth $500,000.
Home worth $500,000. Okay. If you got $100,000 worth $500,000, the one thing you did not give me, snowboarder in Hawaii, is your income.
He didn't give us any hearts either.
Your income. Yeah, and we don't get no hearts either. Snowboarding in Hawaii is pretty tough. So, if you have $100,000 to put on a $500,000 house, you're getting a $400,000 loan. You will have succeeded in putting over 20% down, which makes you golden. If you have a great FICO score, you could have an amazing file, but it is going to boil down to your income. So we need to know what your income is in order to make that happen. You may not need to put all $100,000 down on the $500,000 house unless you're trying to, on purpose, avoid MI. And MI isn't always expensive. If you have a great FICO score, 800 or more, MI could be pretty cheap.
There you go, Snowboarder Hawaii for free, no likes. Pickle D, nice goes away, never goes away.
I think he's talking about MI. So on FHA, if you put 3.5% down, it is for the life of the loan. So technically, Pickle D, at the end of the 30 years, even if you put 3.5% down, 30 years it goes away because the whole loan's gone. It's there for the life of the loan. However, if you put 10% or more, it will disappear in 11 years. About 11 years, exactly 11 years. That's right, Pickle D. I know the guidelines. And if you don't like that MI, dude, I don't want you to have it. I don't. Let's put 20% down. Let's get you that house. No MI.
Victoria, thank you for the love. J.O. said advice doesn't count because of his follower count.
No, advice doesn't count because there's J.O. Appreciate you chiming in. Brand new haters set up an account to come in and hate on us. And the truth is, in order to get like 1,000 or more followers, you got to have to have vested something there a little bit. So if somebody has like less than 1,000, we're like, yeah, you kind of don't count. But if they're real, we really want to address real concerns. Like somebody hits me with, hey, you guys make a commission. I'm like, yeah, we make a commission. We do. I make money off every loan I close. I hope to make money off every loan I close. So the follower count, it's called social proof. And if you've got some kind of social proof, that means you're worthy of being addressed at a high level. But if you're just a little scammer, you're one of them kids in the basement who's like, hey, I'll create a new account and I'll tell them they're stupid. They exist. They're out there. That's how it works, Joe.
Raiders South. More inventory now than before. Houses are reducing prices. Monthly payments are too high still. Tap that screen, Raider South.
Raider. I don't know if there's a question in there. So more inventory? Not really. No, not really. It's kind of shy. Actually, the chairman of the Federal Reserve came out today and he says there is a housing shortage. Doesn't matter what I do with the rates. There will still be a housing shortage. until we have a whole bunch more houses built, there's a housing shortage. So, yeah.
All right, Victoria, start tapping that screen. We need a bunch of likes. Keep liking until Lee's done answering your question. Husband, same employer for years, just switched from 1099 to W-2. Will all income qualify now?
Victoria, maybe yes and maybe better. Maybe yes and maybe better. Here's why better. So if you're 1099, the reason you do 1099 is because the employer doesn't want to pay the IRS and you don't want to pay the IRS. You want to be able to write off a whole bunch of stuff. There's no shocker. There's no brain surgery. We've been doing this a long time. That's how it works. So if this husband is 1099, he's making 1099, but the employer says, holy shit, we can't do that anymore. It happened to us, by the way. All loan officers were 1099 until the law came down and said, nope, you're all W-2. So now we're all W-2. Now, if your husband was 1099 and he was making X, but he was guaranteed to make X, and now he's W-2 and he's guaranteed to make that, well, at 1099, I have to take all the deductions and I have to get rid of them, and then I have to use your AGI. That's your adjusted gross income. At W-2, I don't have to do that. I take the top line and I go, hey, this is how much you make. I don't have to worry about what you wrote off. None of my business. Don't give a shit. In fact, I even have a loan program that's exclusively for that called a W-2 only program. All I do is submit W-2s. Now, the next thing you're going to say is, hey, because he's not been W-2 for the last 2 years, I may not be able to do that. And that's not true either. We are not the IRS police. We don't give a shit. If your husband is salary and he's W-2 salary right now, and I can prove he's been working for that trucking company, and he was 1099 for the last 10 years, but they started W-2ing this week, well, cool. Just show me that you're still at that same company. I don't give a shit what you told the IRS. All I care about is I can use that top line for your income, get you a house.
Right, Victoria, thank you for the hearts. Vicente Quiones, thank you for the love. El Tiburon 18. All right, El Tiburon, start tapping that screen. Give us hearts until Lee's done answering your question. My score is 825. Makes $120,000 a year. I make $120,000 a year. Can 20% down, but I'm scared to buy. Interest is high.
El Tiburon, everybody's scared to buy because interest is high. If it's an appropriate time for you to buy and you want a house and you're ready to do it and you're going to have that solid income and you're not worried about making that monthly payment, buy it, buy it, buy it. If you're terrified, if you don't think this is the right move, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. Don't buy it because you saw a TikTok video. Don't buy it because Chris and Lee said to buy it. You buy it because it's appropriate for you and only for that reason. Now, if you're waiting for the interest rates to go down, when the interest rates go down, we're going to be flooded with borrowers. Flooded. I can tell you that we get over 100 applications a month right now, Chris and I, over 100 applications a month. 80 to 90% don't qualify because the interest rates are too high. But as soon as the interest rates go down, all of these people are going to go shopping because we still build the file. And we tell them, hey, you can buy this much now, but when interest rates go here, you can buy this amount. Once all these buyers come into the market, prices go up. It's not brain surgery. That's what's going to happen. Now, if you bought today, and let's just say you got the worst case rate of 8%, you got the worst case rate at 8%, but you're locked in a $500,000 house. Well, guess what? In 2 years, that $500,000 house isn't going to be $500,000 anymore. It's going to be $580,000, $600,000, somewhere in that range. And those rates aren't going to be 8%. If you listen to the Fed funds, it's going to be somewhere in the 4s or 5s. You're going to be able to refinance. Your $500,000 purchase price is locked in. That doesn't change. Your valuation is there, and you now have equity in your house. That's a win.
Boom. Reese, I'm self-employed. Just transitioned into W-2 2 months ago. Can I use new income to buy? I didn't want to buy self-employed. Didn't want to put 10 to 20% down or a higher rate for bank statement.
Reese, yeah, I just answered that on another guy's question, but it applies to you too. If you're W-2 right now, get a hold of us. We can make it work.
Reese, give us some hearts. Give us some hearts. User 699, give us some hearts. I'm located in Rhode Island. Would I be able to work with you guys?
Yes, you would. We're able to do business in all 50 states. How many? 50. Which one? All of them. All of them. Even some things that aren't states, like Puerto Rico. We can do a loan in Puerto Rico. We can do a loan in Rhode Island, Long Island, which is New York. We can do a loan in all the islands.
And Alaska.
And Alaska, too. That's not an island.
Puerto Rico's an island.
Puerto Rico's an island. So, yes, we can help you.
Right. Thank you for that.
I think we're at rapid fire. Now.
Yeah, we're almost done. User 1352. My FICO was 700. Now I'm TransUnion. I'm 521. Because a year ago, I did a consolidation. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem. We're going to have to, we can probably help you with it. I mean, 521, you're not going to get a house. So we'd have to put you into the what if simulator no matter what. But 700, to 521, you have to be late on a lot of stuff to drop it that much.
Yeah. What kind of consolidation was it? Was
Yeah.
one of those companies that said stop paying your credit cards?
Victoria, you answered all the questions.
El Tiburon, you're welcome. All right, dude.
Cool. Hey, you know what? We've been Chris and Lee. We appreciate you. We are out.